All right. So we're talking about cultivating a team culture tonight. Now, to start at the very beginning, I would suggest figuring out what you want your team culture to be. Do you want it to be like a family? Do you want it to be in, a sorority, like with your best friends? Do you want it to be like um, a place of business? I don't know what other people do for their team pages. Obviously I'm just in mine and Nikki's. I'm not even in your guys's or anything. So figure it out what you want your team to be like. And I think from that kind of grows your team name if you haven't already come up with it. And if you haven't come up with it, it's no problem. My team name was Katie's PS Coaches. That was the name of my group for like a year almost, until one of the girls was like, every time I click on it, it looks like I'm clicking on Katie's penis coaches. So I was like, okay, fine, I'll change the name. So I just thought of what I really wanted, and I saw a quote, the first love yourself. And I was like, that's exactly the reason I did this and got into this in the first place. Yeah, it's for the money. Yeah, it's for Poppy and everyone else, but it really was for me. And it really helped me, help me find new friends and reconnect with people. I mean, me being a single mom, I don't get to leave my house after 7 o'clock every night. Well, I don't get to leave my house ever, but like, what would I do? I just sit here and watch TV. I mean, I get to leave my house sometimes, but I just sit around watching TV, like rotting, I felt like, and I had no outlet. And like, to feel like I have like 5 awesome friends, or 4 awesome friends here sitting, I can't count, I counted myself in this room, in my breezeway with me hanging out on a Thursday night is so much fun to me. So that's kind of how I came up with my name. So the first thing, once you come up with your name, or even before that, I would suggest starting a team page. If you haven't already done that, I did it when I had hit Emerald. I just was like, whatever, I need a place to stay organized. That's kind of where I did it. And I just shared my thoughts in there. So I actually have a couple groups right now, and I have I have like 50 groups, but I have my team page. Obviously you guys are all in it. I have the PS group. So it's just for my personally sponsored coaches. I suggest that when you guys get to the point where your team is growing, that you do that as well. It helps me for a couple reasons. It helps me stay organized, because sometimes like I'm looking, I don't know, it's just easier for me to see. It's an extra place for me to drop people. Sometimes I talk about different things in there. Sometimes I have so much to tell everyone every day, so I put it in different groups. But also it's really important for me to put my coaches in there, my personally sponsored coaches. So if they ever have a question, if anyone ever has a question, Nikki Johnson has a PS coach group. She has one for her PS coaches, one for her PS diamonds, like everything like that. And if there's ever a question that I want to ask, but I'm feeling like either insecure about my question because I don't want to look stupid, or if I've ever had issues with coaches, I'll ask in the PS Diamond group, because I know, no, this is like, obviously no offense to anyone in this group. I don't mean it like that. But I know you guys are in in Nikki's Diamond group or her team page or anything. So it's just a place for me to ask, kind of questions that maybe I wouldn't feel comfortable asking where my downline is in. And I've had times where I've had issues with coaches, and I, had to talk to people about what the right thing to do was, and it wasn't appropriate to talk about them in any group that they might be in. I also have a Rising Leaders group, which I think you guys are all in now. Yep. And that's for anyone. I used to do it for Emeralds and above, but the Emerald kind of died quickly, so I changed that and I made it for having 4 or more coaches, because I think that's a little bit more stable. You can get Emerald in a day or 2, and it's not a big deal. But to get 4 more coaches takes a little bit more forethought, and I find that Emeralds drop quickly. So, and I have those 3, and I post different things in them, and some of them I don't post, like the PS group. I don't post much in, like maybe once or twice a month, but it's just like a different thing for me. Let's see. The next thing I focus on, as you guys know, is the gems. I think this is, for me personally, this is super important. So that was pinned for a while in our team page, and I'll probably put it back in a little bit, just to see where everyone's at for the new people. But it really helps me, and it's in my opening email to people. It really helps me understand people I'm working with. Like, I can talk to Brooke, and I know, I haven't known her my whole life like I've known Samantha. So, I can't, have the same connection. But I know with what she's told me and how we've communicated, and by knowing her gem, what will motivate her to get her, to reach her goals. And just knowing that for me really helps. Like, obviously, sometimes when I do incentives, even like at the end of the year, obviously I was doing all those incentives. And I actually created that bingo game because I knew Samantha was a sapphire and they're driven by games and fun. And I was like, okay, well, let's try that one. I've given away like PD books and all that stuff. So I was like, well, we'll try this and see how that works. And that was super fun. And I think she got a lot out of it. And I think, obviously we have a smaller team, so it's easier to cherry pick. But if I can like choose something that works with, people's personalities and try all different personalities and see who shines with what activities, it definitely helps me kind of understand people better, because I don't think anyone on my team is an emerald. I don't think anyone, I know one person was, and it's someone that didn't work out. So which isn't a surprise. So, I attract opposites, which is good because it's a good blend. The next thing I try to do is keep things positive. I like to have open and honest communication, and keep it as positive as possible in the group. I definitely got this from Nikki. There have been times in Team Positude where, someone said something nasty or like complained when the shipping issues were going on. I mean, the complaints, and Nikki nipped it in the bud, whatever you say. And it's kind of how I feel on our team page. I mean, we're so lucky. I don't think, there's rarely a negative post, and the people that do don't last. But, if there was ever a negative post, I think there was one like about the shipping situation or something like that. And I just took it offline. I was like, hey, this is what I said to the person. I was like, hey, thank you so much for sharing your information with me, or your thoughts or whatever it was. I'm just going to take this offline so we don't breed that negativity within our group. Obviously, we all know shipping's a problem, and I do need to know those problems so I can help you with it. But I don't want to like manifest it, because me, I'm a big fan of The Secret. And I totally believe that if you are just speaking negatively and putting it out there, that it just manifests and grows. So ain't no one got time for that. But on the other hand, if someone is having an issue with shipping or anything, you can post it in the group. Just, if it's negative, I'll take it offline. If it's not, we can talk about it there. But there's a way to talk about shipping issues without being nasty and all that stuff. So, I heard a quote that said, excitement is the catalyst for success. And that kind of got me thinking with this. I'm like, that positive and excitement and like us cheering each other on is so motivating. At least for me, it's so motivating. Like, I love when Nikki posts the leaderboards, no matter where I am. It's just fun to see. And I do think that's obviously a recognition. That's why it's the fourth vital behavior, but it is a catalyst for success. Another very important thing for your team is to lead by example. So like, for example, in the Dollars to Diamonds group, we're all in there. It's a confusing group and there's a lot going on and it's super busy, but I think I'm 1 day behind now. I didn't do today's yet, but if I wasn't posting in there and I wasn't doing the assignments, I would feel like a real shithead if I was like, okay, you guys need to reach your goals. Even though I'm not in the money, I'm not in the pot, I'm not like, doing it, but it helps me. I know it helps anyone. So if, I want to make sure that, I'm doing the things I would expect out of other people. Obviously, not every month am I going to hit my income goals or my Success Club goals or my rank goals or anything like that. I don't mean that. I don't mean that I don't fail. I just mean that I, want you guys to see that I'm trying if I'm expecting you to try, if that makes any sense. So I'm not perfect by any means, but I definitely try in a lot of regards. The fourth thing that we kind of just touched on was recognition. I actually sent it to Nikki when I had done it. I did my first recognition post when I was an Emerald. I had 2 coaches and they both had either Success Club points or PV or something. I don't know what. And I did it and I posted it and I was like, these 2 coaches are awesome. I didn't say like my only 2 coaches were awesome. I was like, the 2 of my coaches are doing so great. Like, and I put their picture up and it's like one of my favorite posts ever. Look, like now I tried to do the leaderboard this morning and they couldn't fit everyone onto the page. And so I think of that and I'm like, at least, it's a start. And it helped me and it helped my, people watching me being like, oh, she has people that are actually doing things like, oh, that I can do that too. Even if they have no idea what PV means or Success Club, you can turn it into like helping people type of points equal helping people. Same thing with team calls. I literally had to beg people. I mean, sometimes I still do. Had to beg people to be on my team calls in the beginning. Like it was like August maybe of my first year, not this past summer, the summer before. And one of my coaches said she'd go on, and I was like, it's okay if you're like cooking dinner, I don't care. And I was like, Samantha, can you, and Samantha was pregnant. Like she hadn't even started coaching or anything. I was like, can you please just come on? It was one of her friends. I was like, please just come on and like help me out. And she came on, and there are nights that I have been on, even during the winter when it wasn't like super busy, like, October, November, and December, there were one or two coaches on, and it definitely ebbs and flows. But if you ever have a night where you schedule a team call, even if you do them every other week or anything like that, and no one shows up, no problem. Use it to your advantage. You can do Zoom like this, set up an account, it's free, and just hit record, and you can start doing videos. So unless you have a fancy computer, I don't, you can probably do it on your fancy computer, but you can just start recording. So, I would just be like, okay, tonight I'm talking about team culture. So I'm just going to do a video on it and post it on YouTube. There are times where at one point you'll get to a point where other coaches are seeking you out for information, and it's awesome to have those videos. There are times where I just click on Lindsay Matway or Melanie or any of those, even Bonnie, Caleb, anyone. I just click on their name on YouTube and just listen to the videos in the background. It's just good information to pass on to your team. They don't know, and then sometimes it's just a good opportunity to get that out of the way when you have a half-hour schedule that you wouldn't always do, and maybe someone will jump on. You never know. All right, this is another thing that I like to do is I like to speak as if I'm leading a number one team in the company, a team of like thousands of people. So I did this a lot in the beginning when I still do it, honestly. Like I'll be like, oh my God, thank you all so much for coming on. Like it was great to see everyone's face. Even if there were one or two or four people on, like I mean every word of that, but the way I say it doesn't necessarily sound like I'm talking about 4 people, but it also doesn't mean I'm not talking about 10,000 people. You know what I mean? So speak it up so it makes people want to be there and be like, wait, they were having so much fun, I want to be there too. Like, just speak with that, not authority. What's the word? Like, I don't know what the word is, like something, like gusto. I don't know, whatever the whole word is. Next. I also like to make Success Club and Diamond and Emerald seem as easy as possible. In all reality, it's easy to hit Success Club. You need to find 3 people every month. That's not that hard. Diamond is 12 people. We all know 12 people that could join a team. In day-by-day steps, it is difficult. We know that. But the more, just like The Secret, I go back to The Secret every single time, because the more you put out there that it's difficult, it will be. If you say it's difficult to hit Diamond, I guarantee you it will be hard for you. So I try to make it seem like it can be as easy as you make it. That's why I have a really hard time doing a 10-day push to Emerald group, because it shouldn't take 10 days to get to Emerald. What do I say for 10 days? Oh, invite this person, invite that person. No, sign your mother and your husband up today and call it a day and be Emerald. Obviously, it doesn't work like that for everyone, but that's how Emerald should be. I mean, Emerald shouldn't even be about recruiting people that you don't know, if you're trying to be in this for the long term, in my opinion. Anyways, same with Success Club. If it's something that you're like, oh my God, Success Club's so hard. Yeah, we all have hard months, days, whatever, times, but if you make it seem like that to people, they're going to feel that negativity and the tension and oh man, if Katie can't do it and she's been coaching for a year and a half, she can't even get to Success Club. There's no way I can. That looks too hard. And they'll just quit before they even try. Here's another thing that I haven't been doing yet, but I'm going to start, is to reach I heard this actually from Lindsay Matway. Katie Hefner. Reach deep down into your downline to help other coaches. There's a reason our company is called Team Beachbody. We're a team. Everything that we do helps each other. So, I guess Nikki doesn't really have a coach, but if Katie Hefner messaged me to help out or do something for Nikki, I would be like on cloud 9. And I don't know how you guys would feel if Nikki Johnson ever reached out to you. I'm sure she has or will. I think you'd be excited. Frankly, I like it when she reaches out to me. So I hope your coaches would feel that way too. You know, obviously there's no like stealing. It's not anything about that. Just seeing how are people doing, getting to know people. I want to know the people that I'm going to be meeting at Summit or Super Saturdays or on team calls. I want to get to know people. So I'm going to try to start doing that more to make sure that, you know, we feel more like a cohesive team. And I don't ever want to be like the coach that people feel like they can't come to, you know, in the downline, because even my PS coach or not, anyone can talk to me. You know, Brooks always says I'm on the computer every like all 24 hours a day. So I want people to feel like they can come to me if they want to. You know, there are coaches that join this business and give up, but they've already signed up other coaches. So like, what do those downline people do? Maybe they were going to be a rock star, but no one's reached out to them, and their PS coach like isn't, you know, really doing that good. So I want to make sure that that's one of my agenda things to do, is start reaching down and just chatting with people and seeing what their goals are and all that, to make the team feel like a team. Let's see here. All right, and then I just have a couple more notes about things that you can do. If you do team calls and you're not quite comfortable like in this atmosphere, like talking for 30, 40 minutes, whatever it is, you can always have a guest speaker on your call. Or what we did in the very beginning, and Nikki did this too, that's where I got the idea, is we did everyone run around and talked about, we called it a rose, thorn, and PD. So you talked about one awesome thing that happened that week, one not so good thing, and one takeaway from personal development. And I really liked that because it got everyone talking and being like, oh, you struggled too this week. Oh, that's awesome. I can congratulate you for this awesome thing you did. And it held people accountable to at least read one page of PD because they knew they had to say at least a sentence. Literally, I'd be like, oh my God, I got to read a page of PD. What can I find to talk about? Okay, I'll use that line tonight. And let's see. Also, your coaches will see what you do, not always hear what you say. So you can post all day long about, here's how to get to Diamond, here's how to get to Success Club, here's this video, watch this, here's what I'm doing, I literally am at an all-star, I'm on my way to legend, or whatever. You can post it all day. But if they're not watching you do the actions of it, it will be hard for them to follow. Obviously, there's always the one-offs and stuff, but for the most part, they do what you do, not hear what you say. And someone also said that the hardest thing in this business is how easy it is. And that's kind of a side note, but I just heard that and I was like, it is so true. You could totally do everything, including your workout, drinking your shake, and doing all the things you need to do within an hour and a half a day. Literally, if you busted ass and did it. I mean, obviously there are days where we take more time, and, you know, creating leaderboards takes time, and pick monkey and all those silly things that we do. But if you boil it down and set your timer, you can bust it out and get everything done in an hour and a half. That's pretty cool. My day job, I'm there for 9 hours a day, and they think I can't get my work done in that amount of time. Like, you know, if you can do what you can do, but it's so easy to let that hour and a half go by every day and not do anything, and not do the workouts, and not drink the shakes, and not read and all that. So I think that is what gets people a lot of the times. And yeah, successful people just do the basics better. So you want to make sure you're as duplicatable as possible. That is the key to success. Excuse me. I know we all follow, or a lot of us follow Caleb, right? Caleb Thomas. He's an awesome guy. He's wicked funny. He's, I think, a 1-star diamond. I don't think he's even hit 2. He kept dropping back. He was emerald at Summit with 1 million views on his YouTube page. And he was only an emerald at Summit. So, but the reason for his lack of success is because he's not duplicatable. You see his videos. Who could create a video? I mean, it's epic. It's awesome. They're amazing. But it would take, first of all, no one would create a video just like him, because then you're just a copycat. And it's not duplicatable. Does that make sense? He's a really good leader, and he has, you know, a great following. but it's not duplicatable. So, you see Nikki Johnson, and she's everyday, we're everyday women, just, doing our normal grind, whatever we have to do every day. Same with Bonnie, super easy to relate to. Lindsay Matway, obviously the easiest to relate to, right? You can see yourself in every single thing she does. And in her trainings that she does, it's duplicatable. Every action that she does, our team calls are because of her. Like, all that stuff is duplicatable. So you want to make sure whatever systems you're doing, make them duplicatable. And I don't know if that's something that I'm doing necessarily or not, but I want to be. So I know I haven't been. That's probably a weakness of mine, but I want to make sure I'm working on that more, like posting the things I say to people and the trainings that I do and all that stuff. So let's see, I think that's pretty much it about, creating a team culture, and it's really whatever you want to make of it. There's no right or wrong. You can change your team name. You can change your perception of things. You can change the reality. In my team page about, Summit, honestly, when I met Nikki Goss, I was like, I'm doing something wrong. What's going on? Just to be truthful with you guys, I was like, something's wrong in my team page. I'm the only person that posts in here, like, ever. And so I handed her my phone. We were sitting next to each other, like in the nosebleed section at the stadium. And she looked through and she's like, well, you know what? You don't really sound like a leader. You sound like you're bossing them around. And I'm like, oh, well, I was a manager for 10 years and I literally had to boss 12-year-olds around all day. Like, I was like, I think that's, and she's like, it totally looks like you're a manager posting on a whiteboard right now. And I was like, and I love that feedback. I was like, oh, absolutely. And I don't mean to do that. It's just my background. That's how I know. And so I was like, well, how do I get people to start posting in the group? Like, now what? I've already created this thing where no one else posts, like literally no one would ever post last year. And I don't know what she said, but afterwards when I got home, I had a team call with you guys, or like a leaders call, and we talked about, and I basically asked you, I was like, I love hearing your feedback every day and I love talking to you personally, but if there's anything that you could post in the group, it would really help me out. And I asked for, I'm no shame in my game about asking for help. And I was like, can you guys help me by, posting that question in your group because maybe someone else has it, or sharing that story in our group because maybe someone else could relate to it. And I think it really made a difference. I mean, everyone posts in their questions, and obviously there are days it's quieter and stuff, but I think that's really important too, to make it feel like you wanted to. And if it's not the way you wanted to, ask for help and see why and have an outsider view. Cool. Those are all my secrets. I feel like I just gave you all my secrets. I'm just kidding. Do you guys have any questions? Does anyone have a team page already for your guys' personal teams? You guys can unmute yourselves.
I do. I talk to myself a lot.
Me too. Honestly, I feel like I do too.
Well, I read everything you say.
You what?
We read everything you say.
Yeah, but how do I know that? Like, so there are 25 people in the group, and the last 10 posts, only 7 people have seen. And here are 5 of them. So, which is fine. It's totally fine. And only like 1 person of those likes or comments. So there's nothing that, even in Nikki's page, not everyone likes everything. And oops, 10 minutes left. It's just how it is. But talk to yourself, but instead of talking to yourself, talk like you're talking to, a team of Lindsay Matway's size. That's kind of how I look at it. Yeah, maybe some people won't read what I post, but they can't. I want to make sure that if someone quits, they can't come back to me and say, it's because you never told me how to do it, or because you never led me the right way. I don't want that. I want to make sure that here are all I don't have secret, I have other groups, but I don't have like secrets that I wouldn't share with you guys. You know what I mean? Like, there's no secret. I want to make sure I'm giving you all the information as possible. So I'm just putting it all out there. I want you to know what's in the group. And if you're talking to one person or you're talking to 50, it doesn't matter. It should be with the same, whatever that word is that I'm looking for, like authority almost, or conviction.
That's the word.
Conviction. Yeah. And if you see and talk to the team like you're talking to a team of 1,000, you will have a team of 1,000. You know what I mean? So, all about The Secret. I think I should read that again tomorrow.
I agree.
Maybe tonight.
We could bone up on some PD before we get together tomorrow.
Seriously. Does anyone have their team name picked out? That's like the most fun thing, I think.
Mine's Pep Fitness.
Oh, right. I do like that. What does it stand for again?
Oh, people encouraging people.
Yeah, so great.
That is so you, Brooke. I love that.
Thanks.
And Sam?
Team Happiness Advantage.
Cute. Kelly, do you have a team name? Oh, sorry.
I have a team page, but no, I don't have a team name.
All right.
It's hard for me to pick out something. No, I like it one day, and then the next day I'm like, nah. Everybody's got that one. No, working on it.
Good. There's no rush, and it's not like an official thing. I honestly, there are some days where I'm like, should I change my team name? Still. What about you, Maggie?
No, I had one. I have one, I guess, but then I looked it up and realized like it's another one. Or there's like a really close variation of it, like in the Beachbody world, so I'm gonna change it. So, but it's funny you're saying it. Like I'm so I don't know what adjective you might use to describe me for this, but literally today at work in my last like 20 minutes when all my kids had left school, I sat at my desk and I probably shouldn't admit that I do stuff like this, but I was Googling like adjectives, like strong adjectives, and I was trying to do like play on words.
Yeah.
I wanted to be a squad, so I was trying to find like really strong adjectives to be like something squad. I literally did this for 20 minutes and then I crumpled it all up because I was like, I am so dumb. I don't have any creativity.
I agree with the lack of creativity. I did that too. I knew I wanted to be Fly or something like that. So I Googled acronyms that started with certain letters and then I was like, all right, I can't get this out of my head. I'm just using it.
Not alone.
No, it's tough.
Mine's a book title.
Oh.
That the Sapphire in Me hasn't quite finished this book, but I get closer every week. Month.
That's awesome.
The first 10 pages were really good, so I chose it after that.
That is a good book. I've read that. Yeah, I mean, there's no rush, and just start the page. There's no, a start.
Right was because I walked by my assistant principal's office and saw a sign in her office, and I went and made that my team name because I liked it, and then realized it's really generic. And
what is it?
It's the like beautiful, but it's like beautiful, like BEYOU. Beautiful.
Yeah.
But I kind of hate it, so that's why I haven't done anything with it.
That's cute.
I don't want to copy people.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure there are other team Flies out there. I'm certain of it, but whatever. What you gonna do? Two things. What were they? Oh, so you know what I've decided? So I'm not sure on timing. I don't want to make a commitment because I'm very non-committal, but we're doing calls every other week for the Zoom calls, the Power Zoom calls, Power Hour Zoom calls, sorry. Then I was thinking how much fun we had last night just chatting and like talking about whatever stuff we had going on. I'm not sure whether I'm going to do it like every week or something, but I want to do like, I haven't thought of a cute name for it, so if you're creative at all, but some things so we can like, it's not just me talking, and maybe even on a team call or something. I don't want to just talk all the time. I want to hear you guys, and I want to talk about whatever, I don't even know, like the little things that we talked about what's going on with you getting to Success Club. And what would you say?
Little support group.
Yeah, just like I want to hang out and
Team Fly hangouts.
Exactly. And like obviously it can be Beachbody related and like talking about, hey, I have a question about this, or where should I put my next coach, or whatever. Tell me about a lead, or tell me about your why or your goals, anything. Just it's not always about the points and the business and the like that. It's about so much more than that. So I had a blast last night. I think that's why I was like, oh, I could do this every night. It wasn't just me talking the whole time. Even though I do well at that. And
Me too, Katie.
you do well at talking?
No, me too. I loved last night. It
Oh,
made me
right? It was so fun.
excited for tonight.
Yeah, me too.
Really lonely.
Me too. Maggie and I live like legit a mile away from each other.
Oh, we really do, but we're both bound to our houses with small children.
Yeah.
So this is the most they've seen you in like a year.
I know, it's fabulous. Speaking of, we got Super Saturday. I know we only have a couple minutes. Super Saturday's coming up April 2nd, which is pretty sick. We have a good person coming to ours, the Fit and Funky Danielle Matori, who's in Shanti's videos. She'll be here.
So we can send just customers there, right? And they can go for free, right?
It depends on your individual one, probably. Oh. Each one's individual. Ours, they have a certain amount of non-coach tickets, and they have a certain amount of coach tickets. Okay. I think so. I don't know why they wouldn't do that for everyone. Yeah, you have someone that would go that was not a coach?
I do. Well, he really wants to be a coach. I think his wife is like kind of holding him up a little bit, which is kind of a bummer. She's not being very supportive, but he's very, very into it. But he wanted to know when the next one is, and I'm gonna help him find one in this area.
Where is he?
Like near Portland, Oregon.
I'm not sure about anyone out there. Yeah, definitely check it out. Most of them I'm sure would have non-coaches go. It wouldn't make sense to not. So
yeah.
Cool. Yeah. That's a great way to get people. I mean, it is so like pump up and energized and fun.
Yeah. It'd be awesome if he goes to that and decides he wants to sign up.
Yeah. That's awesome. All right. Well, that's all I've got for tonight, unless anyone has any questions. Yes, question.
No, it's just in super fast. Is the 21-day fix not on sale in March? Is it back up to $160?
On March, it goes back up on March 9th.
Okay, so if I have somebody before then, they still get it?
Yes. Potentially March 8th. I can't quite remember off the top of my head, but yeah.
They'll get successful points at the beginning of March and have them get it for the sale.
Yes.
Okay.
It's a good thing to say, like, oh, it's going, they already told me the sale price is ending on X date, so you really, really want to make sure you get it in before then. People like deadlines.
Yeah, they do.
Definitely have somebody.
Yeah, because my guess is it won't be on sale again until June.
Oh, what? That's stupid. Okay.
Because that's just a guess. Because then March will be the 22-day hardcore. May, I don't know, maybe May, but my guess is June. We'll see. All right, I don't want to get cut off because I always do. All my calls probably end like this on the YouTube. They're like, all right. Thanks for getting on, guys. If you have any questions, post them in the group or message me. Thank you. I'll talk to you. Have a good weekend.
Bye.
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 Bye.